We back to Humor Review. What's going on, Grant? You like
What's
that?
going on? I didn't. No, not so much.
That's my festive intro, you know?
Yeah. A little drawn out, a little festive.
Hell yeah.
I'm doing okay. How are you guys doing?
I'm good. I feel great.
Good. Haven't been better.
Is that true, Matt?
No, I've been better. I've been better. But yeah.
No, walk me through this, Pat. You have a couple of announcements, some things that have happened, ups and downs.
As of recent.
Yeah, as of recent.
Really, last 4 days, yeah.
Yeah, take us there. Walk us through there from the
Walk
beginning.
us through your highs and
lows.
Your highs and your lowest lows.
You know, I'm gonna lay it all out here. Bare the soul.
Yeah.
So, been dating a wonderful woman named Emily, quite a while now, listeners. And on Saturday, get down on one knee, ask her, propose to her, ask her to marry me. Family was there, got some nice pictures. My mom did the classic recording, but she actually forgot to record the whole thing, so that was kind of funny. She cried a little bit. She felt very bad, but not a big deal. There were some good pictures.
She was just taking screenshots, or did you recreate
it didn't
the thing?
play. No, we didn't recreate the thing.
Okay.
She just forgot to hit play. She thought it was recording, but
Classic.
Was this with an iPhone?
Yep, it was. So, but it was all good. I felt a little weird the whole time because a little tickle in my throat. I was like, it's fine.
It's Cleveland air,
Yeah, it's winter. Okay. I'm gonna just go through it.
Did you hire someone or a photographer or anything?
Nope, just my parents.
Those are really
sister.
good photos.
Thanks.
I'm
Shot
sad
on an iPhone.
The public announcements didn't include one particular funny one.
Which one?
The expecting reverse prom one.
The motherhood was on the horizon.
Expecting motherhood or something. That one was good.
It was pretty good. It was just kind of fitting. So that was wonderful. Went out to a nice dinner, and the whole time I was coughing a little bit after that, and I was like,
you're in the restaurant.
You're sitting really close to people too, and I'm not coughing.
You're hyper aware.
Yeah, went to the bathroom twice just to cough. I'm like, this is not good. But we can finish up, get out of here. And I was like, I think I should get COVID tested. She's like, yep, for sure.
Is she coughing?
No, she was fine.
Okay.
And the leading theory then was my booster was 10 days prior to this, so there's a little gap when I could be effective. And she got hers a while ago, so she was more covered than I was. But
I don't know if it even matters at this point. I mean,
yeah, that was just kind of what we were kind of trying to fit to what was happening. So then I try and get on Sunday night. I'm doing some virtual doctor's visit to get a test ordered because all the tests in Cleveland are out apparently. Can't get anywhere. Usually, I was just going on CVS, going on Walgreens, whatever, trying to get a walk-in appointment, and could not get anything. So,
just to paint an idea of how many people want tests is, and Pat sent me this today. They opened drive-through testing downtown Cleveland. I don't know why they fucking did it in downtown. They should have done the IX.
I think it's at the Cleveland Clinic.
Yeah,
it's at the main campus.
Downtown. I know.
Yeah.
Anyways, drive-through. And you just read people post on Reddit. It's 25,000 people trying to get fucking tested. People are just stuck.
An overstatement.
They're just stuck for hours. No, people were stuck for 4 to 5 hours. You couldn't move. You weren't being redirected. You were just stuck. And if you tried to leave, you were just literally gridlocked.
They canceled it too. They're like, we aren't taking any more
they told people we're canceled. Then they're like, well, where do we go? You're just in the same line, whether you're getting it or not.
And then the governor is sending 8 National Guard people. 8. What is that going to do?
Send them out of there.
So there's a high demand for these tests.
But do you think these are, I'm sick and I want to get tested, or more, I'm going to go to my family holiday in 4 days. I'm going to do this as a precautionary measure.
Yeah,
I think
a
both.
combination.
Okay.
I think probably.
But a lot of people are sick.
don't
My
want to
whole
be in that
back-
line.
like, let's get it now. You know, I think you're seeing more of the urgency because you're going to see family members and you're going to see your older family members, you know.
So anecdotally, I had a basketball game yesterday. Did not go, obviously. But we have 11 people on the team. 5 of them said they were not going because they think they have COVID. And the other team didn't show up. We won
The
because it was a
opponents.
forfeit. We had 3 people show up. The opponents didn't have anyone show up. Not sure why they didn't have anyone show up, but could have been COVID related. Ours was definitely COVID related.
They're like,
5 out of
scrap
11?
it.
We had 3 people show up. One was at a Browns game, and one Norby was late. He got, yeah, I don't know what he was doing.
He's making a video or something.
Yeah.
But I didn't mean to cut. So you couldn't find tests anywhere.
So on Sunday, I spent like an hour and a half probably on this virtual express thing where you're just like holding your phone up in a waiting room, like waiting for an NB or whatever. And I bounced between 3 of them, and I was like, this is stupid. I'm like 8th in line still in an hour and a half.
Like trying to buy festival tickets or something.
Yeah, it literally feels
This
like
is
that.
in person?
Oh, no.
it's on
On
the
my
app.
phone, like sitting right here. Yeah.
Oh.
And then so I'm like, fuck it, I'll just go. I'm going to do it like early tomorrow morning. On Monday morning, there'll be more people online. So I do that. Still takes like hour and a half. And the guy is talking to me. He's like, yeah, I've been on since like 7:30 this morning. 30 COVID tests so far. No one's vaccinated, but I don't like any of these people. Very grumpy, very stressed.
But you're
So
like, I'm vaccinated and I have the booster. And he was like, I got you, bro.
he was like, thank you. I'm like, all right, yeah. And then so just sent me a text, got an order. So Emily drove to the pharmacy. I'm in the car. She runs in, gets the little thing, comes back out to the car. I shove it up my nose, put it back in the thing, and she takes it back in and drops it in a place. And then I get a little caution sign on my MyChart. Unfortunately, you're positive.
Not the So are you better than you were 2 days ago, or you feel like you're at the worst right now?
No, I feel pretty good now, honestly.
Okay.
I was pretty bad 2 days ago, and then not so good yesterday. So Sunday was bad.
So you were rapidly declining during the dinner. You're like,
When
this
did you
is-
first
it's a
feel
problem.
symptoms?
I think I first felt a little bit of symptoms on Friday, but I was really trying to. So 17th, and I was
Had a big
really.
day.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah, big day the
this
next
is not the time. I was pushed it down, and then Saturday
That's
was
not
like,
too bad.
yeah, it wasn't that bad. And then Saturday was like progressively worse throughout the day. Sunday was rough. Monday was a little rough, better. Today is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, you sound normal-ish. You know, you're not hacking, sniffling. I mean, you could. My first thought, I was like, oh damn, Pat's got COVID. I mean, why would you even want to do the podcast? I'd be like, I'm not doing shit.
That's how I felt Sunday. That's how Emily's feeling right now.
Ooh.
She's like a day and a half behind me, maybe.
Oh, so she got it. She's
Yeah, she got it. She's not doing good. Yeah.
She and her booster kicked in.
Yeah. So the theory went out the window.
like,
Oh
oh,
no. I'm worried.
Everyone's gonna get
because I felt. I mean, this morning was the first time I felt anything, but I just feel like sore throat and then kind of like achy, like a little warm and a little achy.
you were sending me some gym pics the other day, Grant. You were
Yesterday, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. So the symptoms I checked off on the little thing were it's like sinus, cough, sore throat, body aches, fatigue. So I was on.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely one point within the past 6 months that I mean, Celia and I, we were sick. We were sick when it got tested. It was negative. So I mean, it's not 100% sure. Congrats, Pat, on the engagement, not COVID. Yes, kind of put a damper on things.
It did. And then so we were supposed to go to Chicago too, celebrate with her parents, go Christmas, So that
Whole family thing, right?
Yeah. Had like nice dinner reservations downtown, all sorts of go see some Christmas lights at the Botanical Gardens. Like had an agenda, Had all my
Yeah.
Christmas presents wrapped. They were all packed, ready to go. Luckily, I wasn't packed. Had foresight to plan, not to pack. But
Foresight
that
to
all out
plan
the
not
window.
to pack. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, dude, that sucks.
Yeah, that blows.
I haven't seen a lot of my family members for a long time, and I don't want to have to quarantine. But
Yeah.
on Christmas Eve, I see probably 30 people.
Yeah, you and everyone else. Like that's what the whole country's gonna do.
Yeah.
Everyone's getting ready. I don't know.
And I'm the youngest, probably. They're the second youngest. Everyone's
Yeah.
older there.
And it's weird because I don't feel that bad, so it's like it doesn't seem like.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a little
No
weird.
more worse than a different kind of sickness.
Or like a cold.
Yeah.
Like if it was a cold, you'd
And no
probably
one
still be
told
going
you?
to Chicago, right?
Yeah, I probably would have gone. But then it's like, it just has the potential to be like fatal. So I don't know. It's a little weird.
A higher potential than the average cold.
Yeah.
Well, I think a cold
be
has
fair.
close to zero, where this is much higher magnitude than
Yeah.
cold.
Especially the older you get.
Yeah, when you're gathering with the grandparents and, the people who don't take such great care of their health. Whatever. It's a little weird.
What can you do? What can you do?
I don't know, yeah. Eat your vegetables.
Eat your vegetables, vitamin D, zinc.
You gotta steal some horse dewormer, put up your butt.
The ivermectin.
I think you could. I don't know why. I don't know. I'm not even gonna get into that.
It sounds like you want to get into it.
No, I don't want to get into
You
it.
know where I could get some, Quinn?
I'm just saying, if a doctor gave me something, and I would just take it. I mean, I'm not. Things are being prescribed to people for a variety of reasons. But as far as COVID goes, it sucks, Pat. Congrats on the engagement.
Thank you, boys.
Welcome
Not
to the
big.
club. Actually, way back, I think you mentioned, you were like, Quinn, don't you have some sort of announcement? And I was like, yeah, we'll get to it next podcast. And we never got to it the next podcast. But
Oh, really?
yeah, that was where I got engaged. That was over the summer. So now,
Congrats, Quinn.
thanks, Grant.
Congrats,
Thank you.
Quinn.
Thank you.
I tried to set you up, but
I know.
You
It
didn't
was
wanna
my own
share.
fault.
Why didn't
shot-
you want to do it?
It was at the end of the podcast. We were wrapping up.
Wrapping up.
And I was like, all right, save it. Put a little tease in there. But then I just forgot.
yeah, we probably skipped a week or something.
Something like that. Probably Grant's fault. Yeah, let's do that.
His chair was squeaking. It was
I
distracting.
rarely
Now it
skip
moved into, like,
weeks.
Weddings. I'm like, dude, no one told me how much money weddings are.
You should elope, Quinn.
Yeah, been there, done that. Now it's time to be like, what? How many dollars per person?
That's yeah.
You'll
You get
get there
fish
soon.
sticks or chicken nuggets.
Yeah. It'll be like Golden Corral will sponsor the wedding.
PBR open bar, PBR only.
PBR. Everyone brings their own PBR.
Yeah.
Well, that sucks, but that's also great, Pat.
Thank you.
Grant, what are we talking about today?
I had one other question for
Yes. Oh,
you guys. A
sorry.
Christmas related question.
Yes.
Which I've just heard people talking, and I don't know if I'm the odd one out. Do you guys make Christmas lists and send it to your family members
Nope.
to buy you stuff?
Nope.
Yes.
Yes.
Are you a yes or a no?
I'm a no. I've never done that. It's at that point, it's just like a wish list, right? It's like an Amazon wish list.
Yeah. I can explain the other side of it. I think when you're dealing with, when Santa's elves are hard at work with a larger family, and you want to take some of the guesswork out. You just kind of streamline the process.
But so then on Christmas Day, you know
Yeah.
what you're getting, right?
From some people, yes.
Okay.
From others, no.
Gotcha.
But they all come from Santa. That's what's written on the tag. So. Some
So
of them
you
you're not-
send the list to Santa.
Yeah.
You write to
He
him.
sends it, to the North Pole, he's at the North Pole.
Yeah, it's interesting. I know I've heard that before. I just haven't thought about it for a while because I've never done it. And so like,
Did someone call you crazy for not doing it?
No, but like the past 2 months, it's like, what do I get? I'm talking with my parents. Like, what do I get? My brother. Like, and we're like, he's hard to buy for. Like things like, because like I don't know. I kind of like not having the list because I feel like at some point it's like, at the end of the day, like probably all three of us, if we wanted something, we could just buy it. Like,
Yeah.
like it's not like when you're a kid, you're like, I want an
I
Xbox.
need this.
Like,
Don't F it up.
Yeah, like now it's like, I mean, what, you want something real bad, like, swipe. Cheers. So I don't know. It's just
It's just
something, I
like,
guess. It's a questionnaire. What do you guys? I'm curious.
tell us in the chat, in the comments.
Send us
feedback. I think when you're dealing with quantity
.com.
too, when Santa's giving you more than for your significant other or friend, you might just get them one thing, and that's the present. But like when you're a kid and you're kind of growing up, you get more than one present, and like maybe if 75% of them are agreed upon, makes things good for everyone.
Yeah. I mean, probably easier as a parent. You're just like, add a cart.
I wouldn't know, Grant.
I mean, Santa build.
Well, it
Buddy.
gets sent to him, buddy. Yes,
Well, he
Santa.
builds them. Yeah. Speaking of Santa,
Santa.
you got a question for me, Quinn?
Oh yeah, it's what are we doing our review on today? 18 minutes
Today,
in.
our review. It was a good 18 minutes.
I'll take it.
Our review is Elf, made in 2004. I don't have a description for it. Elf, 2004.
What do you think it's about, Grant?
The film centers on Buddy, a human raised by Santa elves who learns about his origins and heads to New York City to meet his biological father.
You were afraid last episode. You're like, shit. Should I keep reading? Like, I don't want.
Well,
it's too much.
It was Buddy was accidentally transported to the North Pole as a toddler and raised to adulthood among Santa's elves, unable to shake the feeling that he doesn't fit in. The adult Buddy travels to New York in full elf uniform in search of his real father. As it happens, this is Walter Hobbs, a cynical businessman. After a DNA test proves this, Walter reluctantly attempts to start a relationship with the childlike Buddy with increasingly chaotic results. That's a little bit more detail.
That's a lot. Yeah, that's
A lot.
You didn't
it's a
need
little
all
too
that.
much for a synopsis. Yeah, I like the other one.
Yeah,
I don't think I haven't seen this. You can assume that I just haven't seen it. It's been so long that I really didn't recognize anything that
yeah.
happened. So
Okay.
I'm like a fresh viewer.
What was gut reaction?
Yeah, Grant. How as a fresh viewer, I've seen this
I
movie.
want to hear what the veterans say first.
You want to hear my veteran take?
Yeah,
And then
let's see
you're
the
gonna-
veteran take.
Well, my
Kind
veteran
of similar,
take.
like with Shrek, let the experts talk, and then
yeah.
come up with like a review that doesn't really make sense and let the veteran
All right.
like jump back
I'm
in.
telling Grant, you might not be a fan of this. So yeah, I've seen Elf a lot. Definitely seen it multiple times on an airplane. I've probably seen it as many times as Grant has seen Shrek. So we're talking maybe high single digits, maybe even low double digits if you count partial viewings, where you just don't get around to watching it. I enjoy it a lot. I enjoy it every time. I think it is a timeless movie, even though it is kind of set in a specific time period. You got the now defunct Gimbals and some
They
other
were
older.
defunct when it was made, I believe.
Yes, I think so.
So I looked that up. Yeah.
Some older technology, but I think the concept of having not enough like Christmas spirit in a city and the relationships around that is just timeless, and you can always laugh and feel good about the actions of the movie and what happens with Buddy and his relationships with everyone. So yeah, a lot of times I'm laughing, not necessarily like I'm not like crying. I don't think the ending kind of climactic scenes are that heart touching, heart that moving. They're just kind of nice. You're like, oh, that was nice. You give it a little smile, and
You're
I
telling
think
me, sorry.
yeah, no, go
When
for
the
it.
mom's squeaking, singing along, you don't have a single teardrop, you know? When she's hitting the worst solo ever recorded on TV.
Man, watch out. Maybe on a previous watch, not this one. Another thing I wanted to mention quickly was I like Grant. I remember when he was watching Shrek, something he saw was when the arrow gets shot.
We just
at
lost
Shrek.
our one live viewer, by the way.
That's great. Go to hell.
Dang
If you're
it.
still watching and glitched out, thank you for sticking around.
Please
We
come
love
back.
you.
It wasn't me. Also, sometimes I pull it up.
They're back.
You noticed that the arrow, some of these smaller details, that like they only shoot one arrow and it gets bounced around and it ends up in Shrek's ass.
Yeah.
And it was interesting that's kind of how you see movies you've seen like so many times is you don't even like kind of look at the characters anymore. Like you're looking at the background. You're like, I wonder how that was done. And this time I was really thinking more about like the movie making process and the forced perspective that was used for a lot of these like
Oh yeah.
elf scenes. I was like, I mean,
It's
they're not.
interesting.
Everyone isn't like Miles Finch. Like they're not. So yeah, that's my take. What about you, Pat?
I thought it was
How many times have you seen it?
probably like 5 or 6.
Okay.
I thought it was very good. I thought it was, I don't know. It's just like pretty much Will Ferrell is just like, I don't know. It might be one of his. He was like in a peak form in this era where he was just like crazy funny.
In
His
everything.
facial kind of expressions, just on point. His energy.
Yeah.
Not sure what he was doing in his spare time, but he was just wild. And I don't know. It's not too long, so it's like easy to get into. And it's just good. I don't know. It transitions from this quirky, like it's almost like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer kind of setting with like I don't know if it's it's not claymation, but kind of when they're outside, to like the streets of New York City, and it's just like I don't know. It's just like so silly and stupid, and it's like hard not to have a good time with it when he's screaming, running around. It just kind of has like it's like made with childlike energy. And it's just, It's hard not to just be like kind of smiling along and laughing along at the ridiculousness.
So Grant sounds like you're a bit of a Grinch.
I'm not a bit of a Grinch, Quinn. I think this is like probably, it has the cult classic energy. I think probably like we were talking about Shrek, like that's dear to my heart. It's like I think it requires, maybe watching as a kid and like continuing to watch and appreciate it. Like if you like imagine this movie just came out and you like took your kids to the theater, like that was kind of my viewing because I haven't seen it before. So I'm watching to see what happens. Mm-hmm. And I think you were doing the same with Shrek, where you're like, I just don't buy it. And it's like you can't help but think that way because you're watching it for the plot. Like you have to watch. Like there's no way you're not watching it for the plot. Like, it's really hard to get out of like a plot centric view when you've never seen a film before.
Yeah.
You know? So that's where I was. I'm just watching it. I'm watching the plot. You're like, this is ridiculous, right? It's ridiculous. I enjoyed it. You know, I thought I just never have seen it before. Cheesy at points. I don't know why. You know, when I was like, I don't buy it. I don't buy that this girl would go on a date with Buddy.
him.
Like,
I see. I thought of that the same.
You don't think so?
Time.
She's so sad, and he's just like this quirky dude, and she's like, I'll see what he's got. He's like he's kind of
Fred,
like,
maybe. The dude's like, dude, he's like, you can't do anything with him.
Yeah, like the point where like he's asking
you
her
saw
out
his
on the date.
handymanship though. He turned that store around. That man has potential.
I thought he was gonna get credit for that.
No,
Operation Santa's got a new sleigh.
it's too good. Shit.
I thought he was gonna like that was gonna be his calling. But I did call. I watched it with my girlfriend, and she's seen it before. And maybe halfway, I was like, you know what? I bet it's gonna happen because the father in his publication. I was like, I bet the publication that's gonna be like that's gonna save his ass is gonna be about Buddy.
About Buddy.
Yeah. So I called that.
Yeah, at the very end, because he splits off.
But
from
I didn't
the
call it.
publishing house.
I called it in the middle.
That's okay. Yeah, even like she kind of had like a schoolgirl crush moment when she's like, oh, but I'm free on Thursday or something. I get that. I wasn't buying that either. If that makes you feel better.
I wasn't buying it either. I'm just
You know,
trying
but
to
that's not the
inject
point.
some
Christmas spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
No,
is
it's
kind of
good.
like a loner, though. I mean, it's Christmas Eve and she's eating like noodles
Yeah. Like
and watching TV.
Yeah.
She can't afford. Oh yeah, she has no water. Turn off.
Shut off her
Yeah.
water.
See, she'll go on a date with this guy. He's handy. He could
He
turn
has
her water
water.
back on.
Yeah.
Dude, even little things like I noticed, like the dad, like their apartment is like right next to like Central Park, and I was like, oh, that's expensive. I've never.
I think it was the
even thought
mom
about
bringing
that.
home the big bucks.
What
She
did
was
she
kind of
do
a-
too?
I don't know, but
know,
she
she
said,
budget
I
meeting.
can't come off
We had a
work.
budget meeting. Yeah.
She had a budget meeting.
So she's director level.
What was kind of funny is like with the dad, you know, like he was kind of like this businessman who like was able, I don't know, he is like kind of shitty to his employees, like kind of like all business, but then at the end of the day he was like a cog, like like his boss, the person who run him, just made him like do whatever the fuck he wanted.
Yeah.
You're
Shit
like,
flows
there's
downhill.
Yeah, shit flows downhill. You never escape it. You know, this guy's big business, probably spending $6,000 a month on his fucking Central Park apartment, and he gets some guy who's probably the
stress.
same age as him, who's overweight, yelling at you like, "You gotta work on Christmas Eve." Like,
Because someone's yelling at that guy. He's like, our numbers are down. He's like, our numbers are down. I'll go talk to the
well,
Raiders.
the guy was like, "No one's gonna notice the missing 2 pages." That was a
Shit, man.
Yeah.
Your signature.
that
Yeah.
was no bueno.
I like it. It's like the kind of part where I can't tell if it's real or not. Where I think it's the perfect job for the dad and everyone, where they're so serious about just something like so not serious. Children's books, like are people. I don't think people are really talking like that, but they honestly could be. Where they're like, vegetables, man, like too vulnerable.
Oh, of course.
Oh, dude, I
think
bet they
Yeah,
are.
100%. It's like that's just like, I mean, that's writing. Like you have to make something marketable, right? And not in the sense like your job as a writer, you're still gonna make a solid product. You're not just gonna like, I don't know. Speaking of that, kind of like. One, their genius idea is to bring in another writer, and you're like, okay.
Oh,
I
that
thought
was
he was gonna bring them in
It's
and
Miles
then
Finch for you there.
and just
He's
fire
a
the other
legend.
two. I thought he was just gonna fire the other two, like once he came in.
No,
But-
he liked their idea. And that was a writer talking to two writers to bring in another writer.
Yeah.
Imagine if you did that for your job.
That's what a lot of
We
people
need
do.
a
They brought in
That's
a
consulting,
consultant,
man. Yeah.
They brought in a consultant.
That's why you're
They
employed.
did. He's paid the big bucks.
Yeah, he's a subject matter expert.
I think that was the funniest.
Smee.
Smee. That was the funniest
wh-
scene in the movie.
So, Peter Dinklage, you know, like he probably his biggest role was Game of Thrones. That at least I know, right? Like massive recurring role, and like they've done interviews with him after. I've heard, you know, like like a philosophy of his, you know, like he is, I don't know, what do we call him, little person or midget? I don't know.
Whoa. Whoa.
Whoa. Are we in 2004 still?
What is-
Is he an elf?
Okay.
I'm telling you.
Angry elf.
He's an angry elf, dude. That line is
Wait,
fucking
wait.
the best.
So he's what do we?
A little
you call him?
person, I
Little
think.
person.
Half person, halfling.
Maybe it's on his like Wikipedia page.
You might be able to say
Peter
dwarf
Dinklage.
too, for dwarfism.
He is.
But that makes me think of World of Warcraft.
Gnome.
Little person. If you're looking for a good neutral word, Grant. it's
Okay,
little person.
he has a common form of dwarfism. So he's not. He's still, you know, he's a common form of dwarfism. But so he
CFD.
said in his career that like he's never wanted to play this like stereotypical like, oh, just like literally your role in the film is like a
You're the little
dwarf. Like that's
person. Yeah.
it. Like you can film with anyone. Like he's all about like he wants to be acting. And I was like, so I was watching this. I was like, you know, this is actually kind of cool. Like he's just like a famous writer, and he happens to be like a dwarf. Like they're not making any jokes about his height or like anything. And then the whole fucking scene is that like he's an elf. You're like, oh boy.
Santa know you're here?
Must be a
See, like-
South Pole elf.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd have to watch, you know, like that scene. You know, you just when you take something in the first time, man, it's not the same. You know, so
You're saying that scene would be
it's too
funny.
analytical. I'm just I think the first watch, man. I don't think you can do anything about it, but
You're
it's
thinking
just
too much.
You're thinking too much because you're. It's engaging a different part of your brain. I think you're like it's not this comfort. Like I've seen this before. You're there for the mood. It's like you're using your prefrontal. You're like solving it. You're like following it too much. It's too. You know what I'm saying? That's what it felt like.
No,
So
I know.
like,
yeah.
I didn't get it.
You're
I
trying
think
to
I'd want to watch
anticipate
this
rather
again.
than like enjoy what's happening. You're trying to like see how it's gonna play out.
Exactly. Yeah.
My favorite scene in this movie is the snowball fight. I fucking love Buddy just cranking him out and just he makes that giant ass thing. He's like, make as many snowballs as possible.
Just like,
He's got the pyramid of 40 or whatever, and then I always think of Quinn because I think this is what Quinn thinks of himself when he would play beer pong and be the machine. This is like perfect form Quinn machine.
Perfect machine. Yeah.
Yeah.
just railing them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that scene. That's their bonding scene, right? Because the kid right before he's like, "Go away!"
Oh yeah.
And they get attacked. Then they become best friends. It was
Best
a little
friends.
quick. Which is another point. Being quick. We do have a rule that all bad movies are 1.5 hours long, but not all 1.5 hour movies are bad. And I think this falls into the second part.
I'd say it fits the sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, it got me thinking. I was like, do movies need to be longer? I mean, I'd say in general, movies are getting longer. I was like, do movies need to be longer? Why is short form media getting shorter and like long form media getting longer?
I don't know. The last couple movies we watched have all been really short. All this before the sunrise or whatever, those were all really short.
Are you saying
Oh,
that
I see.
movies coming out these days are
Yes.
longer?
Yes.
Like Dune.
yeah,
Even-
like,
even
yeah. I guess
Matrix
if
is
it's too
probably
long,
long.
they split it.
Matrix is probably going to be long. But why are we talking about the Matrix?
Oh,
It's
we
just
did
a
one.
movie I'm excited to see. Yeah.
Oh, you're right. It comes out at some point, right around the corner. I think.
Yeah. Weird coincidence.
I don't know. That was
Do they-
just a random thought. Do they what?
Do they make what kind of Christmas movies are they making these days?
Klaus was one me and Quinn saw that was probably came out 2018. I want to say.
Okay.
2019.
2019. Yeah.
How was it?
Great.
Okay.
I liked it a lot. It
Alright,
was
that's pretty
actually made by an animator who used to work at Pixar and then went to make his own studio, and this was his first directorial debut. Did the whole thing. And I thought it was like an origin story of Santa Claus, and it was really good. And
Cute
it
or,
was
like, serious.
both, right?
Okay.
It was definitely a children's centric, but like the way they played it out was like, this is cool. It had enough like folklore / history that was really interesting of like the origin, yet like it kept the magic there. You know, like if you were a kid watching it, like you're not going to be like, Santa's not real. Like you're going to be like, this is great. You know?
Yeah.
That movie was nominated for the Oscar, the best animated film, and we're like, this is great. It was awesome, and fucking Toy Story 4 won.
Which
We
you
were
guys
like,
did not
what?
like.
We didn't even know who knows
I
Toy
don't
Story
even-
4.
I think
Do
we
you know what it's
reviewed it.
about?
Nope.
Probably
I think
Andy and Buzz taking on
the guy, Sergio Pablos, worked for Disney, not Pixar.
They're the same thing.
They're the same.
Maybe not internationally. Never mind.
But fucking Toy Story 4 won. Anyway,
Brand-
Yeah,
so
it was
they
a
do
good
make-
animated
they do
film. I
make
don't know
holidays.
what's coming out as far as live action. Maybe that
Home Alone.
Home Alone,
Wait,
Alone, Never
What's it?
Alone. No, Home Alone, Sweet Home.
Wait, always sweet. Wait,
Home
Alone, Sweet Home. Home Alone, Sweet Home.
Never Far from Sweet Home Alone.
Home Sweet Home Alone.
No, Home Alone, Sweet.
No,
Wait.
it's Home Sweet Home
Sweet
Alone.
Home Alone.
'Cause
I
it's
think
Home Sweet
Alone,
Home.
Sweet Home sounds better.
That sounds good. What
See?
Quinn said. Sorry.
Yeah, what I said. See,
Apparently so.
based on you, buddy boy. So yeah, that's the kind of shit coming out now.
Garbage. No, Klaus.
Well,
was good.
we haven't seen it, so we don't know.
True. All we know is the IMDb review.
I just don't know why movies would be longer, because you would think if movies are pushed by a financial backing, an investment, we're going to recoup our money. If you make the movie 45 minutes shorter, it will cost less to make. Why are
Maybe it
we
used to be
spending
like
so
that
much time?
Before? I feel like animation's getting cheaper to do.
Not animation, but I mean, I guess both.
But even
I
like
thi-
CGI and all the effects, I feel like those are getting cheaper to make.
Cheap. Well,
I think it's like an investment thing. It's like you're seeing these big movies like Dune, and you want to be fully immersed for 2 hours
long,
or
you're
whatever.
like,
It's
I hate
big,
my life.
and you're like, whoa. And once they get you to buy in, like, you know, you guys see part 2, you know.
So you
and
gotta-
it's like, I mean, you know, that's a good question, because like once they get you, like Dune Part 2, why don't they just make it an hour and a half?
Because they
mean,
need to put
everyone's
Dune
gonna
Part
see
3.
it.
You need to
Huh?
not only tell the story that is occurring in the film itself, but set the roots for the one to follow,
Mm-hmm.
so that there's something else to pull you back in. So you have to have like a complete package, plus a little bit for
That's
to pique the interest of the next
merch.
That's I actually really like that theory. Like if I were to rewatch Dune or rewatch like a Marvel film, like, oh, here's a portion. You know, they're planting seeds. You know, you're like, here's a scene. You're like, that's not necessary really for this movie, but it's just it's a seed. And then they do that, you know, for a half an hour, and now you have a 2-hour film. You know.
You have red herrings and you have Chekhov's guns. Chekhov's gun is like a huge thing that like they plant seeds throughout different installments that like lead into something big, whereas red herrings are just like false flags. But it's like it's fun if you're following a series to like tie those back and to see
That's
which ones are
why-
actually material and which
That's why
ones are
people were
actually
upset with Game of Thrones, because there was
Yeah.
a lot of seeds planted and not many came to fruition at all.
Yeah, there's a lot of disappointment, not a lot of payoff.
Yeah.
I think these are good for series, but I think just in general, a movie that comes out is not going to be an hour and a half.
Everything's a series though.
It's a series. I'll have to keep an eye out. I'm going to keep.
No, it's
I'm
true.
being more
Like, when's the
conscious
last
of
like standalone OG? It
hour and a half
wasn't
movie.
made in the past. Wasn't there's no source material. Like, it's just a fucking movie.
And it's
You
an
know,
hour and a half.
Knives
I mean, I'm
Out.
sure the movie
We watched Knives Out. Was that based on anything?
could have been.
It's probably based on a book or something.
No, I think it's OG.
Well, Grant, you watched a lot of the movie for plot, but I liked seeing some of these little things that I wrote down.
You do that, and then I'm gonna poke some holes in the plot. There's just one main thing that I was.
Well, let's poke the hole.
Yeah,
My only
poke.
plot one
Poke
was
the
like
hole.
Buddy never. I mean, they explain it. He never sleeps. Kind of. He sleeps for like 30 minutes or whatever. But like that whole first day, he stays at Gimbals. He's like delivering a present to his dad, and they just never show nighttime. Like I guess he slept in the
40
mall.
minutes.
Remember, he slept in the front thing when his dad saw him. He was asleep in the.
All
Remember?
right. Yeah. Okay. All right.
I
Grant's
think
got
that's
more
just
plot than
part
me.
of his character, though. Like, he eats a bunch of candy, he does all
Crashes.
this crazy stuff, and he just, like, I don't know.
They just never showed him kind of hitting the hay. They just went to
Yeah.
the next scene.
Christmas cheer keeps him going.
That's right. All right, Grant, what's wrong with the movie?
I didn't say anything wrong with it. I was just the last scene, and this is just like you're just like probably I'm too plot focused at this point, but they're getting the spirit up, and really the fucking sleigh sucks because from 10% spirit to 90% spirit. Nothing
really move.
It's
Yeah,
the same shit. It's the same shit. There's like 90%. I'm like, it's 90% spirit, and you're like fucking hitting like you no control, no power. You gotta hit 100. No wonder you needed a fucking jet
The
engine.
Kringle 3000?
Yeah.
That was your hang up?
Yeah.
Look at
That's
those
it?
notes. That's it. All right. We figured it out.
I liked in Elf class, they were going over like semiconductors and processors. How to assemble.
Well, that was the next topic, right? They're like, before we do that, or
We have to go over the 3 rules. Like, everyone, there's room for everyone
Yeah.
on the nice list.
Like-
and best way to spread Christmas cheer.
candy corn, candy canes, and
Syrup.
syrup. It's
See,
like
that was like the syrup and the spaghetti I was like, that's not.
Grant's Italian bones were shaking.
It doesn't sound good.
That's handmade pasta too.
What?
He's trying.
He
to
makes the
grind
pasta
my
like by
bones
hand,
Oh,
even more.
and then he adds the syrup in because
it makes it better.
it's the best.
It elevates the dish.
Yeah.
In no particular order, I liked when Santa had the tire iron. Like Buddy was approaching him, he's like, just like some sort of mugging. It's like,
He's
oh,
been
I'm
here
Santa."
before.
Yeah, that was a part that made me laugh. A part that made me. I'm always weirded out by the animated Christmas animals when he's leaving the North Pole, and I think they're paying homage to, I don't know, like Rudolph the
Rudolph.
Red-Nosed Reindeer, and
Yeah, I thought it was cool.
as a kid, I was weirded
Creeped
out.
out?
I'm just a little creeped out. Like he could just leave. He doesn't need to talk to these people.
I liked it. Keep it in.
Keep it in. All right.
I thought it was an interesting. That's actually what I liked because you go from
I
this
like that.
weird environment and then you go to like getting
New
hit
York
by a
City.
taxi. And,
Plays well with the audience.
yeah.
At some point, the secretary's on the phone. I think Deborah, and she's like talking about like how like kittens need to be declawed.
In the trailer?
Yeah, I was like, what? Is she like a vet in her, like a home vet? Like, what is she doing? Why is she gonna declaw the cats?
All 8 of them?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's these very small things.
First time you noticed that?
I don't know if it's the first time I noticed it. It's definitely the first time I noticed it and wrote it down.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have 2 more here. One is when Charlotte, the newscaster lady's like talking about Santa, and then the dude like interrupts him, and he's like, sorry to interrupt your big first news story, Charlotte. Like just talking about Santa, basically just shitting on her. I was like, that was a little jarring.
Yeah, being a newscast lady sounds hard.
Yeah, and then you had the people that are like, "Oh, you're great, Charlotte." Oh yeah, yeah, I saw him. Oh wow, you got a wonderful figure.
Your eyes tell the story.
There's that, and finally, my last little note was I liked how they caught Buddy in Central Park, and then the video was like the Patterson footage where he's like stomping around like Bigfoot. You know what the Patterson footage is, Grant?
Mm-mm.
It's like the most famous Bigfoot grainy
Yeah,
ass
sighting.
video. Yeah, and they like
Could be
walking all
anything,
weird.
but that's clearly Buddy. Like, if you know him, that's Buddy.
Like, we don't know what this is. Patterson Gimlin film. And yeah, all those little things. I mean, they just add up, and you're like, wow, I like this.
Yeah.
I fucked up. I had one more plot hole that I didn't get to.
I guess if you don't remember it, it's not really that big of a deal, you know.
How does Papa Elf know Buddy's family history? He knows about his biological
I don't know.
mother.
Santa knows
his
everything.
dad,
Yeah, Santa knows everything.
But Papa Elf.
He just asked Santa.
Santa's
Santa,
top elf.
Can you tell me whose baby this is?
They had a lot of time, 40 years to figure it out.
Yeah, Papa Elf's 500 years old. He's been around the block a couple times.
They were sipping the.
Dude, him dancing in the mailroom. That's actually iconic.
Yeah, I forgot about that scene. That scene's one of my favorite too. It's like, you're my best friend, man. Nah, you're my best friend. It's like, I gotta get in the flow. Get in the flow. No, I gotta get out of the flow.
That's the problem. I'm in the flow. And then they're like, he's on the conference call with Mr. Finch, you know, and then they've got the Janice or whatever calls in, and she's like, there's a situation in the mailroom. And she just cuts over to the sound, and it's just him fucking dancing on the table.
There it is.
Yep. Yep, that shit is so good. It's so funny.
No
Well, I'll
shiny
watch
things.
it. I'll watch it next year. You know, I need the rewatch.
Yeah, maybe some eggnog, some Christmas ale. Just let loose.
Yeah, were you a little inebriated?
No, not at all.
No.
I was high on Christmas spirit, Grant.
High on COVID-19.
Yeah.
That's the Christmas spirit. I hear it's going around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Contagious.
The spirit level is 100.
Give me a rapid test.
We all out.
And that's all I got as far as notes.
Is it, Grant, what time is it?
What time is it, Grant?
I think it's that time.
It's about that time, the G&Q patented review where we decided what the true rating of Elf is over or under the IMDb rating, and with almost 250,000 votes, 7.0. Huh, disgustingly low. I'm going over.
I'm going over too. Drum roll.
Grant's hesitating.
I'll go over it and like I'll
With a
like
caveat. An
half
asterisk?
of it. Yeah, asterisk. not an asterisk. It's sharing the Christmas spirit with you guys. You guys have shown me why the film is funny. Some of these scenes, I'm watching it and I can't get over the ridiculousness, but that's the point. Is my next watch, it'll be ridiculous, and I think I'll enjoy it more. So.
But if we weren't here to spread the Christmas spirit, and you watch this movie, and I said, Grant, would you rate this over or under a 7? You go under.
It's tough. It's like right there. IMDb is too good.
You're a politician.
I don't know.
We don't know.
I'm going over.
We're going over this time. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
All right, 3 over is Elf.
You guys know what? Like while we were
2004.
2004.
It says 2003 on IMDb.
Released
Elf.
You know what was like while we were discussing like this podcast, like something that came in mind, like Patrick, like mentioned it. I was just thinking, like maybe next week we do the Matrix.
Oh shit!
Wow.
Great idea, Grant.
Wow. Yeah.
Great idea,
What's-
Pat, for mentioning it.
Wait, let me edit my banner
Yeah.
really quick. It's the Matrix.
Yeah, it's The
And it's
Matrix.
Resurrections.
Did you know the director of Elf has directed like every Matrix movie? Or not Matrix movie. Marvel movie?
No.
Oh really?
Yeah, like all the Avengers
who is
ones,
it?
Iron Man.
Are those the people from Cleveland, actually?
No, it's Jean Favreau. I knew the name was familiar.
Dang.
He did Mandalorian. He's doing Book of Boba Fett. Lion
Wow.
King. Avengers Endgame, Infinity
Oh,
War.
I know this guy.
Yeah, Age of Ultron, all the Iron Man ones, original
That's insane.
Avengers. Yeah. I knew the name was familiar.
I'm thinking of the Russo brothers. They've
Yeah.
done a couple Avengers.
They were like the Captain America more
I
side.
see. Doesn't matter to Grant. Grant dislikes them all. So
I just thought it was interesting that that's range.
yeah, going from that's
Will
pretty early
Ferrell.
on in his career. It looks a little bit.
Actually,
Actually,
when
the
did
first
Iron Man come out?
Swingers,
2008.
1996.
Cocktails
No,
first.
a lot of
questions
these guys.
later.
A lot of these.
Let's watch Swingers.
A lot of these. He's not the director. He's the actor.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh,
see
it's
a lot
his
of
executive
producing.
producer. My bad.
Oh, Moneybags here.
How does he have all this?
He directed.
he directed
the
them.
Mandalorian.
The
he
Lion
directed
King.
Inception, The Lion.
Iron Man.
Yeah, but I don't think he
Not
directed
the
Swingers.
He was a producer on Swingers.
Oh, you wrote it.
Oh,
where's-
co-producer.
Okay. Director. Okay.
He was an actor in Spider-Man, the new one. He's
So
Happy
like,
Hogan.
I
in all
think
these.
it's hard to
Swingers.
see because he also acts in these. I think.
Dude, he's
This
got a
man is
million
just-
Yeah,
credits.
he wrote and acted in Swingers
and produced it.
and produced it.
I like when
Well,
he's got like
he's
12
yeah.
thanks. People just said thanks, dude. I never got that one, but
He's a titan of industry.
He played Mr. Narwhal in Elf.
that's great.
My buddy.
Trademark frequently appears in his own films.
Yeah.
That can kind of make sense why it's confusing.
Before, if you guys haven't looked it up already, how long do you think The Matrix Resurrections is?
2 hours 45 minutes.
Yeah, two and a half hours.
2:28.
Now this movie,
So, guys, just keep in mind, we're
Yeah.
going to test the theory, see if there's seeds planted. Is this all-encompassing, or is there going to be The Matrix?
5.
Well, what's another R we can use?
Redemption.
Returns. The
Returns.
Matrix. What's the final word though? Resolutions.
Resolutions. There you go.
The Matrix Resolutions. Dude, they've been pumping the shit out of this movie. At
Oh,
least,
yeah.
where I'm in LA too.
Dude, I see the amount of, like, I'm on Reddit and you usually don't notice, like, I don't know, it's like front page, it's like things are just posted, and the amount of Trinity fucking photos, like, wow, look at Trinity's dress. They're so cool, like on like red carpet. And then it'd be like, wow, Trinity. And there was like one of her like on a motorcycle. Like Trinity, like one of the coolest, like dude, they're just like
A feminine icon.
they're
It's all
drilling it
fake
down.
news.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen any of this.
Dude, they're like
So-
lighting like Congress green and shit. Like I'm not
What is
kidding.
wrong with our world? Yeah.
They do the White House.
I mean, what is right with our world, brother? It's the Matrix.
Yes.
We
yes,
are
yes.
in the Matrix. So
Agent
of
Smith,
course.
don't take me.
So you guys, we this was our first trilogy we've ever seen. I think we did this was our 100th trilogy, or right? That's what we
Yeah.
did for the 100th.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I not seen. I mean, like reviewed on the podcast. We did that, and half of it was in anticipation for this film. Let me read the synopsis to you all. To find out if his reality is a physical or mental construct, Mr. Anderson, a.k.a. Neo, will have to choose to follow the White Rabbit once more. Is that a spoiler? What? If he's learned anything, it's that choice, while an illusion is still the only way out of or into the Matrix. Neo already knows what he has to do, but what he doesn't know yet that the Matrix is stronger, more secure, and far more dangerous.
They're skipping some
Never.
steps because probably nobody's watched the last one in 20 years, where everyone fucking dies. He explodes into like literally light. And Trinity had like 8 tentacles shoved through her.
Oh yeah, she's dead. Yeah.
But
Oh,
she's
yeah,
back
she's
on the
on the
bike.
motorcycle.
Yeah.
She's so cool, Grant.
So he must be in the Matrix.
So I'm sure.
And only one of the
I'm just making a prediction.
Wachowski sisters did this one. The other one was like,
I'm out.
Her and Morpheus are making a spin-off.
Getting it on. Swingers 2.
Lawrence Fishburne. Dude, if they don't have a good reason to get rid of that guy, come on now.
It's
Lawrence Fishburne.
politics and business and personal.
Not
Relationships.
good reasons, Quinn.
He's not vaccinated.
He was,
Except good.
He didn't have his booster in time.
They actually filmed this. Fun fact: they filmed this in 2003 with the rest of the films, and they're just releasing the footage now.
That's why Neo looks the exact same age.
That's
Morpheus
not true.
died between the filmings.
No.
Okay.
Maybe.
Could have been.
Could have.
No, I think they're going the angle. My prediction is they're going the angle. Like the Matrix is everything we've seen in the movies. Like is more or less the Matrix, and he stands like Morpheus is not a person. It's an archetype. You know, it's a role that someone plays.
The architect.
and
Thought it was just
Yeah.
going to
The
be a
Oracle.
different universe or something.
I don't know. We will find out.
It's him in the Matrix in a different previous
This comes out tomorrow.
to the ending of the last film, because it can't take place after the last film. People are dead. unless
How
they
can it
have
be before then, though?
It's before, but in a different Matrix, a different universe.
So it's a different instance of Neo?
Yeah.
Like looking at the
that's my
Keymaker,
guess.
it's one of the other screens, kind of?
Yeah. Good job, Pat.
All right.
All right, we'll
Grant
find
didn't
out.
follow.
No.
Just
Next
thinking about
week, this comes out tomorrow. So next week, on the 28th is what we're planning for. We will have the Matrix Resurrections. Anything else? All right. Thank you all. We will see you next week, hopefully, with the Matrix Resurrections. In the meantime, send us some comments. Send us, are you excited for this film? How do you like Elf? How many times have you seen Elf? Do you make a Christmas list and send it to Santa? Please, we want to know. Feedback at gqreview.com. You also can follow our social media at GQ Review. That is for our Twitter and our Instagram. Thank you all. We will see you next week with the Matrix Resurrections.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.